and there's nothing. There is nothing there. No one is there. Yes.
In the Philippines, the people who volunteered to be crucified, to be flogged, are from the Muntinlupa, from jail. The real criminals, they offer themselves.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So we have
Some of
police
them,
too,
not
not all, but mostly a lot of criminals offer themselves because they realize what they have done, and now they have public display.
I don't necessarily recommend or
I know.
ignore that, but you know.
He can escape.
Yeah. Let me finish up Holy Week. I know we're running a little bit over. Bear with me. Saturday.
Okay,
Holy Saturday. Jesus is gone. There is no gospel about Holy Saturday. Why do I have these from the New Testament? 1 Peter and Ephesians. What was Jesus doing on Holy Saturday? This is where we get this in our creed. He descended into hell.
He descended into hell.
Yes.
You know, in the Apostles' Creed, you know, crucified under Pontius Pilate, he descended into hell. On the third day, he rose again. I get this question a lot from people. What does that mean? Does it mean he went to hell? No. What we mean by this statement is this. When Jesus died on the cross, he descended to the place of the dead. Because you understand, in the Old Testament, no one went to heaven when they died. No one. Good or bad. No one went to heaven. Heaven was blocked because of sin. No one was in heaven until Jesus died. Where did they go? They went, in Jewish tradition, they went to a place in Hebrew called Sheol, which translates is grave.
But Chip,
Yes.
Good question. This is the thing I have, and like, but so like, you know, the guys really started to teach the Bible, like you did, like someone else do. It says he went to hell to preach to the fallen angels, the one, like, you know, when he came with Satan. You know, when they
You're partially right. He didn't preach to the fallen angels. Let me go to 1 Peter to tell you what he did during this time. Because again, this is a big confusion for a lot of people. First of all, he didn't go to the place of the damned. He went to the place of the righteous sinners waiting for the redemption of their souls. Because in the grave, there were two compartments. There were the righteous. Oh boy, that's totally misspelled. The righteous dead, waiting the coming of Jesus. This was known as Abraham's bosom in Jewish tradition. And then there was the wicked dead. Okay? Those were the unrighteous. They went basically to the same place, but there was a distinction between them. The righteous were waiting with Abraham for the coming of Jesus, though they didn't know it was Jesus. They were waiting God's Messiah. The wicked were just wicked. When Jesus descended, watch what it says here. For Christ also died for sins once for all, the righteous for the unrighteous, that he might bring us to God. Being put to death in the flesh, was made alive in the spirit, in which he went and preached to the spirits in prison, who formerly did not obey, when God's patience awaited in the days of Noah, during the building of the ark, in which a few, that is 8 persons, were saved through water. So Peter talks about this descent to the spirits that were imprisoned, all the way back, even to the time of Noah. Okay? And he preached to these righteous souls. In the book of Ephesians, it says this. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 7. And it says, "But grace was given to each of us according to the measure of Christ's gift. Therefore it is said, when he ascended on high, he led a host of captives, and he gave gifts to men." In saying he ascended, what does it mean but that he also descended into the lower parts of the earth? He who descended is he who also ascended far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. So there Paul is talking about when he ascended back to heaven, he led a bunch of people free from the prison that they were in under the Old Testament. Now, since Jesus has already died and rose again, people who die either go to heaven or hell. But before then, they were in this, what the church fathers called the limbo of the fathers. This was the place where David and the prophets and the righteous souls in the Old Testament were there waiting for Jesus to liberate them. So that's what he was doing during Holy Saturday. Preaching to these souls, to the righteous that were waiting him, and condemning the wicked who had already been condemned in their wickedness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's Holy Saturday. Hello. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Then comes
Easter.
Sunday, Easter. Okay? And what is this? Matthew 28, 1 through 13. Mark 16, 1 through 20. Luke 24, 1 through 49. And John 20, 1 through 31. These are what are known as the resurrection accounts in the Gospels. If you noodle online, you can find a good harmony of them. I've read some very good Catholic commentators on how to harmonize the events of the Gospels to give you an idea of what is the progression of events on Easter Sunday morning. Because each of these Gospels presents it from a different perspective. Okay? But that's Holy Week.
Very good.
Thank you. Very well. I don't wish to keep you any longer. Please read these Gospels next week, beginning with Passion Sunday, Palm Sunday, and go every day. Just say, Monday I'm going to read them. Tuesday I'm going to read them. Even if you read just one of the 4 choices, read one and keep going all the way through to follow Jesus on this holiest of weeks. Amen. Amen. And I'll see you next week.